Theme parks. They're supposed to be the happiest place on earth. Rides built to thrill us, to trick our brains into believing we're moments away from death, only to return us safely solid to the ground. That's the promise. That's the illusion. But sometimes the illusion shatters. Behind the laughter, behind the flashing lights, lies a darker history. Accidents buried under press releases, tragedies silenced before they could spread, and rides that disappear overnight as though someone or something wanted them erased. Tonight we won't talk about the famous accidents, not the ones plastered across the headlines. No, we're going to go deeper into the accidents they don't want you to know about. The ones whispered about by employees after hours, the ones remembered only by locals and sometimes by the land itself. Case number 1. The Haunted Drop Tower. In June 2007, at Kentucky Kingdom, a drop tower called the Superman Tower of Power became the scene of a horror no one saw coming. A teenage girl climbed on board, laughing with her friends. The restraints locked. The ride began its slow ascent. Riders always describe this part the same way. Your stomach drops before the ride even begins. A silence in the air. Anticipation. But this time, anticipation turned to terror. Halfway up, a cable snapped loose. It lashed around like a whip, cutting into the girl's legs. Witnesses say she screamed, not with joy, but with pain. The ride kept climbing, dragging the broken cable upward, and then the plunge. When the ride finally stopped, silence filled the air. Parkgoers stared in disbelief. The girl survived, but she would never walk the same way again. The ride was shut down. Investigations were launched, statements were issued, but whispers spread. Employees claimed that at night, when the park was empty, you could hear the sound of metal snapping, a whip crack echoing through the dark. Some said if you stood at the base of the tower long enough, you'd hear a single scream, high-pitched, piercing, and then silence. Case number 2. The roller coaster that never opened. In the late 1980s in Ohio, a brand new roller coaster was set to open. It was supposed to be the park's pride and joy, a twisted labyrinth of still, promising thrills that no other ride could deliver. But the public never saw it. Before opening day, workers ran late-night tests with empty trains weighed down by sandbags. According to one worker, something went wrong. The train derailed. The crash echoed across the park, waking nearby residents. By the time security arrived, one maintenance worker was already dead. The park never acknowledged it. Within days, the ride was dismantled, gone before it was ever ridden. Yet locals swore they heard it, even after the tracks were removed. The sound of a train climbing, the slow ratcheting of a lift hill, followed by the screech of metal tearing free. No one talks about it now, no records exist, but to this day, some say that if you walk past where the ride once stood, you'll hear the phantom train climbing into the darkness. Unlike permanent parks, travelling fairs put up their rides in days, sometimes hours. Bolts tightened in parking lots, steel beams erected on grass and gravel. And in 2017 at the Ohio State Fair, that speed caught up with them. The Fireball, a massive spinning pendulum, dozens of riders strapped in, swinging high into the air. On July 26th, during a ride cycle, one of the seats tore free. It broke off mid-swing and crashed into the crowd. One teenager was killed instantly, 7 others were injured. The ride was dismantled overnight, but survivors never forgot the sound, the sickening shriek of tearing metal, the thud of impact, the silence that followed. And even after the fair reopened, some swore they could hear it again, late at night, the sound of the fireball swinging into the empty fairground and snapping loose all over again. Case number 4. The Ghost Train Inferno. In 1979, Sydney's Luna Park was home to the Ghost Train, a dark ride meant to scare with shadows and sounds, but on June 9th, the shadows turned real. A fire broke out inside the ride. Smoke filled the tunnels, flames licked the wooden structure. At first, riders thought it was part of the show, just another trick, but the smoke thickened. The heat grew unbearable. 7 people never made it out. The ride was consumed. Authorities called it an accident, faulty wiring, but many never believed that story. Some spoke of sabotage. others of something darker, a curse placed on the land beneath the park. The ghost train was gone, but passersby say that at night you can still smell the smoke. Even some swear they've heard muffled screams trapped forever in the tunnels that burned. Theme parks will always sell us joy. They'll tell us these accidents are rare and that rides are safe, and most of the time they are, but history is written by those in control, and the stories we've uncovered tonight, these are the ones they wanted you to forget. The girl's scream still echoes from a drop tower, the coaster that vanished before it ever opened, a fairground ride that turned joy into horror, a ghost train that burned its victims alive. So the next time you strap in, when the bar locks across your chest, when the chains drag you high into the night sky, listen closely, because maybe, just maybe, the laughter around you isn't all laughter. Maybe some of those screams are echoes, faint reminders of tragedies past. And maybe the ride you're on has secrets of its own.